Dr. Deb Schreibman here. What's healthy? We are! I have a lot of really cool stuff to talk to you about today, and I wanted to talk to you about detoxification and cleansing and how to stop the food cravings. I know a lot of us crave salt, crave sugar, crave fats, crave all the different things, and I want to touch on that because I think with everybody being, quarantined and sheltered in, we have all of this food right out of our fingertips, and we're hungry, and we just grab whatever we can grab and eat it. And I know a lot of people are gaining weight. We call it the COVID-19, although I think we should be calling it the COVID-38 now, because people are just gaining weight and not exercising, and depression and anxiety are setting in, and it's really impacting our foods that we're eating and the choices of foods that we're eating and the cravings that we're having, and what we can do to turn all of this around so that we can get back to being really healthy and then stay healthy moving forward. So let's talk about figuring out how to know what the causes are and weed that stuff out and get right down to it. So in my office, when my patients come in to me and they say, hey, Dr. Deb, I've put on a ton of weight, or I'm not sleeping at night, or I've got a rash on my face. I had a patient today, in fact, who came in and had a rash all over her face and had been tested negative for lupus and all the other things that we might think of when we think of a rash right there on those cheeks. And I said to her, have you done an allergy test? Have we checked food? Have we done an elimination, a cleaning out of your gut, a healing of your gut in the right systematic way? And she kind of just looked at me and she said, no, my doctor just did these labs. So I had a conversation with her about it, what we can do and what I do and how that's different than that conventional approach to medicine or health. So typically what we do in our office when you come in with a complaint is we sit down and we try to figure out, what is it? Is it a food issue? Is it that you're just really eating the wrong foods? Is it you had your gallbladder removed and you can't break down your fats, you can't process your fats? Is it that you are diabetic and maybe you don't even know it? Maybe you're pre-diabetic. So whatever it is, we want to try to figure out what the true underlying cause is, and then we look at eliminating high allergen, high toxin foods from your diet in a very, very systematic approach. And don't go panicking, all of you out there who are like, oh my God, I can't give up my coffee. Oh my God, I can't give up my wine. Or I need my Doritos, or whatever it is. This is not something that you necessarily have to give up for a lifetime, but just in an approach that we can get rid of it, clean ourselves out. Actually, I work on gut repair first so that you can tolerate cleaning out your body, and then reintroducing these foods. So I know I've got some questions coming in. I want to try to answer a question or two on this one. Andrea says, hey, Dr. Deb, what are some of the key foods that I should avoid if I am gluten intolerant? So for all of you out there who don't know what gluten is the glue that keeps all of those yummy, delicious foods that we all love, the comfort foods, the pastas, the breads, the muffins, the cookies, the brownies, all of those things stuck together. Anybody who has tried gluten-free food might notice that they kind of crumble apart. Maybe you have to actually toast your bread so it doesn't fall apart to make a sandwich, although things are actually getting better and better as we learn more about gluten issues and how to make foods that we're, quote, used to that might not be the best for us, like bread, but so that it is not quite so bad for us and it doesn't just crumble in our mouth when we take a bite of it, so you can actually have a sandwich. So what do we do for gluten intolerances, and how do we know if we have a gluten intolerance? Well, you really do need to test for it. Some of the symptoms associated with gluten intolerance or gluten allergy or gluten sensitivity is bloating, inflammation, headaches, maybe gas, constipation, diarrhea shortly after you eat it. And for some people, it can take building up of it. So you might not have any of it, and then you start to eat some of it, and then your body starts to go, I don't feel so good. Maybe you get constipated, then maybe you get some diarrhea. So rice, you would never think there's gluten in rice. You got to be careful for rice, because a lot of those processed packaged foods like rice, like, I don't know, Hamburger Helper, have gluten in it. And the thing that you really have to be thinking through when you're thinking about gluten is that it is hidden in a lot of the foods that you would never think it was hidden in. So Something that you can look for on a label is called GF, that's gluten-free. So then you know something is actually gluten-free. And I'm going to tell you a little bit off the cuff here. My husband actually has a gluten allergy. He lived his whole life not being able to do fun things like going rafting or going on a boat, because then he didn't know if there was going to be a toilet close enough by, so that if he ate something and it had whatever it was, because at the time he didn't know it was a gluten allergy, he would have to run and have diarrhea. And now that we've tested the right way and we know what it is and we can limit it, we can also give him some supplements which help keep that gut from going into that bad, place with the diarrhea and the constipation and the bloating and the gas and all of that stuff. Because there's nothing worse and nothing more embarrassing than tooting when you're in public or having to go diarrhea and not having a place to do it. So, really awareness of what gluten is and where it's hidden and what to do if you have it. There's a supplement that you can take that will actually help detox the gluten out of you. So all of you gluten allergic, gluten sensitive, gluten intolerant people out there, that aren't celiac, that you really can't have any, you have to cook with different pans and different pots and have different silverware and really be even a different kitchen from somebody who is cooking with gluten if you are celiac, because that is how sensitive and how horribly it can affect you. But you can take these supplements to just kind of help detox it out, and if you feel like you've had some exposure to it. So Andrea, I hope that answered your question. Packaged foods, processed foods, and things that don't say GF on them are usually the ones that you have to be careful of. Things like fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, meats, fish, chicken, shrimp, all that fresh stuff that isn't processed is the stuff that usually is pretty safe. But also watch out for seasonings. By the way, they do hide gluten in seasonings, so that's a good tip for you all. I do want to talk today also about neck pain and shoulder pain. I've had a lot of people coming into the office lately because they're sitting at their new office, which is their couch in their living room or on the island next to their little ones, trying to help them study and stay focused in virtual school. And we're coming in with lots and lots of extra pain that we're not used to having, or if you did have it before, it's intensified and worse than it ever was. This is really one of the largest musculoskeletal issues that we do see in our office, alongside, low back pain with sciatica, the pain down that leg. That's another big one. So for all of you guys out there who are having neck pain and shoulder pain, it's really important for you to get seen as soon as you can, because there's a million different things that can cause this. There's a million different things that can play into this. So you need to see a really good experienced chiropractor so that we can differentiate for you what it is. Is it coming from the neck? Is it coming from the shoulder joint itself? You guys who it's happening to at the same time, oftentimes it's coming from the neck and it's not really the shoulder that's a problem, but we want to take x-rays or an MRI if we need to, so that we can figure out where the problem is, so that we can treat you appropriately, either with chiropractic adjustment or therapies like electrical stim. Ultrasound is a great way, and this is not the ultrasound to see, what's going on with our babies in our bellies, but this is therapeutic ultrasound, which actually drives in heat and vasodilates and stimulates the healing process so that we can increase range of motion and increase strength. Some of you actually lose hand control. You get numbness and tingling, and that can be a disc issue. So we really want to look at it systematically, approach it systematically, and figure out what is going on so we can fix it the right way. Right here we are looking for the true underlying cause of a problem and fixing it. I know you can take an ibuprofen. I know you can take a Tylenol. I know that you can take a pain pill, and it doesn't always, it may help periodically, but or for a short period of time, and then it comes back. So are we really fixing it when we're taking it? No, we're providing some relief, which, you know what? Sometimes we need that relief. When this hurts so bad and you can't find any position of comfort, you can't lie down, you can't sit up, we really want to figure out what's going on. And I, like I said, I am not against taking some medication short term which is what it's really meant for, so we can give you some relief while we look for the underlying issue so we can fix it. Just so you know, sometimes it can be a mattress, sometimes it can be a pillow, sometimes it can be your car seat, it can be the seat that you're sitting in, like I said earlier, right, at your island in your kitchen, or the recliner. So it's really about identifying the true underlying cause and fixing it. I did have a question come in from Jim. Jim says, I suffer from osteoarthritis. How can I get help dealing with this daily problem of being so stiff? So I know a lot of us, our go-to would be a pain pill or ibuprofen or Aleve or a muscle relaxer. And like I said, short term, it's okay, but those have a lot of side effects to them. So we want to figure out, okay, you got osteoarthritis, so what can we do? Stretching. Hot yoga is great. Regular yoga is great. But really getting into a consistent program with that, I think, Jim, is going to be the way to go for you. Chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy, acupuncture, and good quality supplements. We call those nutraceuticals because they are pharmaceutical grade supplements. And you know what? Not all supplements are created equal for this. So there are some supplements, I tell my patients, I don't care where you get them, just get them into you. But there are other supplements that really make a difference. And things like glucosamine and chondroitin and MSM, those are ones that you want, really good quality ones. Those are ones that really help impact joints. Magnesium will help with that stiffness and the muscles that come with it, but there's different forms of magnesium. Magnesium glycinate most of the time really helps better than the citrate, although natural calm is fantastic, and most of our natural calm is citrate. So it's about finding somebody who can actually help you as well, figure out what it is, what's going to work for you, because you know what? We are not all textbook. Not everybody is created equal, so what one supplement or nutraceutical might work for one person might not work for you, Jim. So I hope that answered your question well for you. Another thing you can do, and this is really an important one, and people forget about this, is hydration, because your discs are fluid and they need to be hydrated so that they can work, keep the pressure off of those nerves, and keep your nervous system, your central nervous system, working the right way. So hopefully you can find a good massage therapist, good acupuncture, some good chiropractic, and then work on that inside so that you can keep your body healthy and you can slow down that degenerative process of that osteoporosis and stay active and as long as you possibly can. So excellent question. And I do want to talk a little bit also about hormones, because in my world, hormones really are what controls our sleep cycle, what controls our wake cycle, what controls our weight gain, what controls blood sugar, what controls, our thyroid. All of the different processes in our body are controlled by hormones. And if our hormones are out of whack, everything else in the world is out of whack for us. There are different hormone levels for men and for women. So here's another, not one size does not fit all. So keep that in mind when I am talking about this. Also, something really interesting and I think important for you to remember is our hormones change through our life cycle, right? So when we're younger, we go through puberty and we get surges of hormones, and then we might get pregnant, or we want to get somebody pregnant, and our hormones as we age change. Typically as we age, our sex hormones like progesterone, testosterone, estradiol, all the different estrogens, sex hormone binding globulin, they all actually get lower and lower, along with hormones like melatonin, which is the hormone that keeps us sleeping at night. So, it's important to look at age as part of our hormone balance. And, in the functional world, something that I think is really important to think through and to talk about is our hormone levels when we are younger are higher. As we age and our hormone levels get lower, when we do tests, our range that they use is a test range for somebody at 45 or 55 or 65, where the conventional medical world would want you to say, okay, well, you're older, you just have to live with it, your hormones are lower. Well, in the functional world, we say, well, wait just a minute. Can we actually increase our hormones safely and increase them to a time when we actually felt better, when we were in our 20s, when we were in our 30s, and for some men and women, it's even when we're in our 40s. And then you have to look at it that way. And then we say, okay, so our hormones were higher when we're younger. We felt better, and I'm okay with having my hormones a little higher for what the conventional medical world might say is the normal lab range. And then we can talk about the things that we can do to balance your hormones better, get them up a little bit higher, maybe do it through bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, which is quite safe, or even nutraceuticals. We can look at, well, is your DHEA low? DHEA is a hormone that is a precursor to all of your other hormones, all of those other sex hormones. And then we can maybe increase your DHEA, maybe pregnenolone, which is the step before that, and then see if we can get those hormones up and better balanced for you so you feel better, so you get more restful sleep, so you wake up in the morning feeling better, so you're not waking up in the middle of the night hungry, so you're not exhausted all day, your energy levels are maintained all day, and then they get lower as you are getting ready to retire and go to sleep at night. I really do believe people can stay balanced as they age and keep their hormones better balanced. I mean, for God's sake, Suzanne Somers, I mean, she is the queen of this. I've had many conversations with her about hormones and orgasms and better sex. And, you know, she and her husband are 70, going on 74 and 84, and they are sexually active. And she talks about this stuff. And yes, I agree with her. I do believe that you can keep better balance in your hormones and feel better and do better all the way through and just, you know, have a better lifestyle, right? Because those are the things that really, really matter. I got a question from Madeline on hormones. I suffer from bloating. Can that be related to a hormone imbalance? Absolutely, it can be. But what we really look at when we are thinking about bloating is bacterial overgrowth. What's going on in your gut? You got to think of your gut like it's a fish tank, right? And if anybody of you who have fish tanks out there, you want to make sure that fish tank, that pH is balanced, that you have, I don't know, algae in there, so your little fish are swimming around and healthy and happy and not floating on the top. You who have all that bloating and constipation and diarrhea, probably your fish are floating at the top. You probably have the bad, you know, stuff growing all around, and the water's cloudy and everything looks bad in there. So we want to dump all of that stuff out, clean it all, scrub it up, and get that gut, that fish tank, that microbiome is what we call it, healthier. And could it be a hormone imbalance? Yes, absolutely it can. And so that's why it's really important when you go in, you talk about all of the different things that can play a part of it, looking for bacterial overgrowth and getting that gut healthy and getting that gut right so that you can live healthier and happier, because bloating is no fun. And you know, truthfully, bloating is never normal. So if you are experiencing bloating, unless it's right before your menstrual cycle, it's not normal. So you want to check into that. And the sooner you do, the easier it is to fix, and then you'll feel really, really fantastic. So hopefully I answered your question for you, and that you can get some great help and really get that bloating under control and feeling better. So I know we are out of time, and I just wanted to say thank you for joining in today. If you have any questions, you can email me at feelbetter@lakepointewellnesscenter.com. You can go right to our website at feelbetterhere.com. You can just give us a phone call at 770-974-5215. Until next time, love and light, health and happiness. Bye-bye.